Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Marketer's Blueprint podcast. I am your host, Nathan Gibson, and of course, I have with me Mr. Gabe Arnold himself. Gabe, how has the week been?
Fantastic. We're wrapping up a great month and got some new client partnerships started and some lots of team wins. So I'm very grateful and optimistic.
I am too. I can't believe, as of recording this, we're almost through February already. 2025 is already flying by. Each year I get older, the years fly by faster. So it's always exciting to hear we have some wins. And speaking of wins, we actually have a really great topic for you guys today that we're going to dive right into. So Gabe, I know that in the past, maybe a couple episodes ago, we've talked about Google Ads before, right? But the people want to know more. It's a super important topic that I think that we can dive a little bit deeper on today, including some things regarding keywords. So something that I've noticed, and of course you've noticed as well, is too many businesses throw money at Google Ads without a clear strategy, which leads to wasted budgets and unfortunately disappointing results. And so that's why in this week, we're going to be sharing some essential Google Ads tips and tricks and a checklist that was created by our expert team of copywriters, designers, and of course our Google Ad experts to ensure that your campaigns stay on track and are also optimized for success, which is really important. But before that, of course, we have a marketing minute for you, patent pending, TM. I'm going to pass it off to Gabe to get that market minute rolling for us.
Yeah, so what I was thinking about today is that the vast majority of failure for entrepreneurs, small business owners in their marketing is that they don't stay focused and they don't stay on one course until they succeed. It's really easy to have the latest trend of AI, or everybody says get on TikTok, or everybody says get on Blue Sky, or whatever it is. It's easy to want to chase the new because that's exciting and engaging and stimulating. But the reality is if we don't stay focused and stay on, one course long enough, that we typically will stop before we were about to reach success. There's this meme that floats around that I've seen off and on over the years of this guy digging for gold and he's like a foot away and he gives up. And like, that is what happens when we don't stay focused and follow a course for a long enough time. And so that would be my encouragement to everybody, is just to really reflect and say, have I really given this enough long-term focus, or am I switching gears or direction or focus because I'm bored or this seems too hard or something shiny popped up? That's a dangerous way to live as an entrepreneur.
It really is. I speak to so many entrepreneurs in my day job working with BME, and a lot of people fall victim to that. And that actually ties in really well with our topic today, because one of the sections we'll go over is ongoing optimization, which reflects on what you said of like, sometimes you have to let things stretch out to see if it's going to pan out and work for you, and sometimes you have to cut it short after you've given it enough time to see if it's not worth optimizing anymore. And the same can be said for your ads. So with that, we are going to dive in. Thank you, of course, for the marketing minute. He always knows I put him on the spot for that, but he came prepared today. I'm very proud of him. So today we're going to be going over, again, Google Ads, but we're going to start with keywords, right? So keywords are simply words or phrases that match what people are searching for in search engines, primarily Google, but we've had, Yahoo, Bing, stuff like that, primarily Google, but it's what they're searching for. Before we dive into how to use them effectively, Gabe, do you have any tips on how to find keywords for your industry or niche?
Yeah, there's tons of tools out there. There's obviously like Google's keyword planner, and there's lots of like things that will help you when you get to the point of launching ads, which of course we help our clients with, and that's always accessible. But one thing that's a great starting place for keyword research, which I always translate, and you already touched on it, Nathan, too, what phrases are people using to find information, services, products? What phrases are people using? What questions are they asking? So there's a site that's been around for a long time that has a free version that's more than adequate, and there's a paid version too called Answer the Public.
Mm-hmm.
What I like about that is if you practice and use it, and I'm sure there's tons of YouTube videos on it of how to use it too if you look that up, but it can show you kind of how people are typing questions in and see how their thought process develops. And so if somebody was like, they start with business consultant, that's just a very top of the funnel general information search. But then if somebody says like business consultant, they may type that in first, and that's like how Answer the Public tracks and follows how people are thinking and searching and asking questions. Then it may go like business consultant for e-commerce company, and then it might go down to like, consultant for product offer optimization, for e-commerce company. Like it scales all the way down, and as you start to work with that, it's a good frame of reference to start thinking this is how potential customers are searching for what I have, and what thoughts are they having, and how do they drill down on how they're thinking. Because then you can choose your keywords, your search phrases, what people are saying as like at a brand awareness top of the funnel. We just need them to know we're here. There's some kind of basic searches in the middle of the funnel where people are doing research and consideration and deciding, do I actually need this? There's longer keyword, long tail keywords as
Right.
well. And then obviously when we get down to like, I'm ready to buy, then there might be like, how much does it cost? Or how long does this take? Or it allows you to start to see the psychology of how your prospect may be thinking, which then allows you to move into the placing ads, testing, optimizing that I know we're going to talk about more later. But the main
Yeah.
point I would say is think when you hear search keywords or PPC keywords, make sure you're immediately translating that to what are people asking about, thinking about, discovering as it relates to anything in my product or service, and even anything related to my product and service.
Yeah, and I think that that's really important as you related it to funnels. A lot of what we do at Business Marketing Engine is creating funnels of where people are at in their journey, in their customer journey. So not everybody is going to be ready to ready to buy right off the first search. Some people may, there's infinite possibilities, but it's important to know where you're targeting in that funnel to be able to best match those advertisements for where people are at in their customer journey. So I love that. I also have a couple of tips prepared for how to utilize those keywords effectively. So one thing you can do is focus on top performing keywords and use broad match strategically. That's one way that you can do it on a more broad spectrum of the keywords. And then of course you can regularly analyze search term reports. And what that does is it allows you to identify new opportunities and eliminate irrelevant traffic. Something you and I have touched on a lot as it pertains to the sales aspect of the podcast is eliminating irrelevant traffic, right? How important would you say it is to not only what you said of targeting the right people, but also eliminating traffic that you don't want? How important is that to business owners?
Yeah, it's crucial. We helped an e-commerce brand go from, they were like 700,000. We helped them essentially double over about 18 months with both organic search, which is the same thing, keyword search phrases, and paid traffic. And we found they were using a general search term. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it's something
Sure.
along the very broad of like weight loss. Because we
Mm-hmm.
helped them scale an amazing supplement, and they're an awesome company, great entrepreneurs that were running the company. But when they were doing weight loss, we're able to start tracking that it brought in not their target market. And so we knew like that's not, it's obviously super competitive as a term because everybody knows about weight loss, and all of us go through a season in life. I would say almost everybody were like, oh, I probably need to lose some weight or be healthier. But
Yep.
that doesn't say like weight loss supplement or natural weight loss supplement, or like you can look at a broad search term, and if it's bringing in relevant traffic, it can be, but it can also be bringing in just like general traffic and it's not specific enough. So that's where you start to drill down and say like, is this search ending up in a conversion, which we track all the way through for our clients, of like, if this search came organic or pay per click, did they click and did they put something in the cart, or did they download your ebook, or did they do the next step you want, or did they just click and bounce, and you have this growing trend of people clicking in and for a handful of seconds they're on the page and they move away. Then that broad search term may not be performing the way you want it, versus some broad search terms will come in and you can see people stay on the page and they go deeper or they take the step you want. So you have to analyze that from like your conversion tracking, and like things like how long were they on your page. Time on page is something we watch too.
Yeah, ad management is so interesting because it is like a dance of going back and forth between getting people who are broadly interested and then filtering out people who are might end up being like a statistic on a page that's irrelevant, the people that are bouncing, to also people who are hyper niching down on the specifics of what your product is. a lot of what we do at BME is bring in customers or clients for our clients that are highly qualified, which in the long run ends up saving them time and money because the higher qualified the leads are, or the people that are interested in the product, the better quality conversions you will have. And so I think that's really important. And that leads me into my next point is on optimizing your keywords and your ads is teamwork and communication. We are 100%. This is one of our main guiding principles at BME is teamwork and communication. So what we recommend doing is establish clear communication channels with your team to discuss campaign performance, identify challenges, and also implement necessary adjustments, right? So, in your opinion, Gabe, how important is teamwork and communication as it specifically relates to creating and maintaining high quality advertisements?
Yeah, it's crucial. And what can happen on either side of the relationship, um, you know, the client, you as the small business owner, the entrepreneur
Mm-hmm.
buying traffic, working with, a team member on your team or an agency is there's gaps kind of on both sides. You can unintentionally be unclear of the result you want. You can also be really clear on the result you want, which I'll touch on again in a second here. And then the team you're working with cannot understand it or not be able to deliver it.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can be causing confusion. So, a key thing that we always start with early on in our strategic process with our clients is defining the outcome that they want. That's really clear to say, this is the outcome I want from advertising, this is the result I want from advertising, so that your team can work with you to hit that. And I encourage you to specifically phrase it that way. This is the result that I am looking to achieve.
Right.
Because then your team can say, oh yeah, that's totally reasonable, there's a strategy, there's a possibility for that. Or they can say, you know what, that may not be fully possible with pay-per-click, but you can get to this point with a prospect, and then the sales team may need to step in. And so it's really crucial that as the business owner that you are clear and articulate and specific about the result you want. And then that way you can evaluate the team you're working with. The team member should be able to restate your goal back to you. You should be able to share, here's the outcome I want, Nathan. I want to get, 100 new e-commerce, purchases a month. Or even you're a service business, I want 100 new leads of, quality opt-in information so that I can make a phone call or begin to nurture that relationship and move them into something higher ticket. And then that you, if you were running PPC for me, should be able to restate that back clearly so that I know that I communicated clearly. So that's like the foundational piece. Then, from a teamwork perspective, you need to evaluate and see, can the team make incremental progress towards the goal and get the result? Because just stating it, they can't snap their fingers and get the result. There's
Right.
a lot of work, a lot of complexity. There's optimization. There's so much that goes into this. And as we always talk about market research, and there's so many aspects, but you don't want to be with a team member or agency who has just fixed, packages or products. We always do it this way because you'll be leaving so much on the table. And it really needs to be customized to the specific result you want, and how fast you want to get there needs to be communicated as well. So it's really important to be clear about, this is the result I want, this is ideally how fast I want to achieve it, and then collaborate and talk through and see, like, well, this is the actual timeline that can be achieved, or this result can only go this far with the technology and the resources, the options, and then this needs to be filled in. So collaborating around that and communicating is key. And if you don't feel like you have that open trust and that clear communication, then that's a thing to invest in, or to consider, maybe this isn't the best fit anymore and I need to explore, another partner or another team member to help me with this.
100%. One thing I think is really important on this topic is teamwork and communication. The higher quality your teamwork and communication are, directly translate to the results that you get.
Yeah.
100%, no ifs, ands, or buts. It's
Yeah.
not like internally we have a PPC and SEO department and team. They're not off on their own island creating ads and optimizing them all by themselves, right? They're in literal constant communication with our marketing strategists, our copywriters, our graphic designers to make sure that everything is working as a cohesive unit. And so that really harkens to the teamwork aspect of it. And so one thing I wanted to mention too is to provide higher quality teamwork and communication. What you can do is you can constantly review asset groups, search terms, mobile performance, and other key metrics to identify areas for improvement. You touched on that yourself. Google Ads provide you with the data. They have the data for you. They
Yep.
offer valuable insights so that you don't have to necessarily be a PPC expert to understand how your ads are doing and make adjustments to them. Now, it may take a PPC expert to go to the level that we do for some of our clients, but it's not necessarily rocket science. You can do it. It just takes a little bit of time and dedication. Um, and so I want to dive into the next topic here off of that and kind of piggyback on that is kind of adapting an audience first strategy, right? I'm not sure if you guys have heard that term, but um, what you can do is you can prioritize understanding your target audience and their needs with your advertisements. So that begs the question I wanted to ask you, Gabe, is what has been your experience with prioritizing an audience first strategy with our ads here at BME?
Yeah, that's a key aspect of why our campaigns launch very successfully. And even when they're launched, we're still learning and optimizing. They ultimately, in 3 to 6 months become very stable performers and easy to maintain and grow the business. And the reason that we're able to do that is through our deep market research process. In virtually vast majority of our projects, there's a couple exceptions where clients already have some of these things defined, but we
Mm-hmm.
always start by taking all the market research we did and putting it on a one pager that we call the customer canvas that says your ideal customer is 45 years old, they're female, they're family oriented. We know a lot of your customers have kids and they live in the Pacific Northwest, and like we're able to drill down really specifically to their values, their needs, their demographics, their behaviors. And when we do that, what that does is it empowers our clients to be able to truly put themselves in the shoes of their customer. Because what's easy and totally normal for all of us as entrepreneurs and business owners and any leader inside a business is we often view our marketing through our perspective and our eyes. And we know so much about the business and we have, helpful and unhelpful biases. But when we start with that frame of this is what the ideal customer looks like, then you can go through your ads, your landing pages, your email sequences from that perspective of like, what would this be like to be a member of the audience that I want to serve? And does this speak to their needs? Can they self-identify into what we're talking about? Like, oh yeah, that's me. I've experienced that problem or challenge, or I want this outcome. And so everything needs to be framed from what would it be like to be a brand new prospect that's checking out our information, that's considering being a customer. Is everything smooth and easy? Is it communicated in a way that builds trust? Does it solve the goals, problems, needs that are coming through? Everything has to be viewed through that perspective. And we've got to be very intentional, like I said, as the business owner, of stepping out of our view and experience, which is totally different than our customers in a lot of cases, and really viewing the whole customer journey from ads all the way through to say, would this speak to me if I was this individual?
Yeah, and I think that's so important. With prioritizing an audience first strategy, you really can highlight the value that your products or services offer and honestly clearly communicate the benefits of those products, right? Because you better understand who you're targeting.
Yeah.
And so I think that's super, super important. And there's a few other tips that I wanted to share with you guys today about, we touched on this earlier about ongoing optimization, right? And we talk about this all the time because it really is crucial to all areas of marketing and business owning, right? Like it really is. So here's some tips that I have ready for you guys when it comes to ongoing optimization for your Google Ads and your keywords. One thing you can do is you can track key metrics such as your CTR or click-through rate, conversion rate, and cost per acquisition, which is your CPA. What that does is it will allow you to assess the effectiveness of your campaign. So I highly recommend keeping a spreadsheet or a document with all that information and continuing to optimize off of that. Also, guys, experiment, right? That's the joy of being a business owner and entrepreneur. Experiment with different ad copy, headlines, and even visuals to identify what resonates best with your audience. That harkens back to the audience first strategy. And then also continuously, this is a really important one, continuously refine your bidding strategies. And what that will do is it will allow you to target parameters based on performance data, which is really, really important when optimizing your ads. And the last tip I have for optimization is Guys, the world of Google Ads is constantly evolving, right? We all know this. Keep learning. Continuous learning and improvement. It's one of our guiding principles. The more you learn about the new features and best practices, the better you are equipped to stay ahead of the curve when it comes to the ever-changing landscape of Google Ads. So those are some tips I have for optimization for you guys. And if you guys are tired of wasting precious ad dollars, seriously, our team is absolutely experts when it comes to PPC and SEO. So if you guys need help with any of this stuff and you guys would like to learn more about what we do when it comes to ad campaigns, feel free to give me a call. There will be links in the description below. No strings attached. You can just have a discovery call with me and I can learn more about all the fun businesses you guys run and chat about some things regarding PPC. And then we will go ahead and wrap up with, of course, Gabe, our win for the week. We could not have an episode without talking about our wins. Today we're going to be talking about Olivino Life again. So whenever we partner with a new client, our main goal is to get them results as soon as possible while we build the assets for their new campaign. Make it as successful as possible while being sustainable. It's very important. That's why the very first thing we do, and you talked about this earlier, is create strategic keyword-driven brand awareness ads that go directly to their website to boost their website traffic and possible lead generation. Why I wanted to ask you, Gabe, why do you think BME is able to generate such amazing results so quickly for our clients?
Yeah, it's because in today's world, there's a myth or a forgetfulness that you need to have a strong brand, and so we have quick launch campaigns, is what you're talking about, and we have
Yep.
brand awareness. And it's like if you opened a business on Main Street in your town, but you painted the windows black and didn't put a sign up, the odds of you getting a customer are low. It might happen, but it wouldn't be a steady flow. But when you open a brick and mortar, you put up a sign, you put something, you put a sidewalk sign out,
Yep.
you say grand opening, you let people know you're there so that they start to see you. And the longer you're there, consciously or subconsciously, they go, oh, they must be doing well because they're still there.
Right.
That's a simple thing with brand awareness and even just quick launch campaigns that aren't the fully optimized, amazing assets that we build for our full launch campaigns. But in this case, like with us being able to launch this for Olivino Life, they're reaching their target audience, they're building those impressions, they're building trust. And the bigger brand you have and the more trust you have, the higher quality customers that come through. And so that was what it was exciting for them is they just started our full process within the last 6-8 weeks.
Yeah.
And they're already getting new impressions in front of people that will be interested. So then we launch even more targeted campaigns. They're going to have trust in the marketplace, which is tough to measure sometimes, but we can always see the result or indication of that when our campaigns perform better because their brand has grown significantly. So that's been a huge win to get them back out there in front of their target audience, and they're already getting great results from that, and it's only going to grow as we launch even more strategic campaigns.
Such great people over there too. I'm so happy we can provide some wins for them. They deserve it. They have a great product and our team has worked so hard to make that happen on a quick turnaround. So guys, it has been a pleasure to sit here with you again. Remember, if you need any help with PPC, Google Ads, SEO, give me a call. I'd be happy to get you in touch with the team, talk about what we've done for people in your space because we've worked with a ton of businesses over the years. But even if not, we are so happy to be here with you today, and I hope to see you guys next week.
See you, everyone.
Bye-bye.